C'est une grande joie et une immense fierté que de vous voir ici tous réunis ce soir à Marrakech pour le lancement d'Africa for Tech. De voir des innovateurs venus des 4 coins du continent, à peu près 17 pays d'Afrique, d'Europe, d'Inde et des États-Unis. Alors, je tiens à remercier avant toute chose le Royaume du Maroc pour son accueil infaillible, et en particulier le ministère des Affaires étrangères et monsieur l'ambassadeur Chakib Ben Moussa, qui nous a inlassablement soutenus dans des démarches d'obtention des visas, mais également le gouvernement marocain représenté aujourd'hui par le ministre Mamoune Bouhdoud, le Technoparc et les clusters marocains. Et enfin, la COP22, qui en nous octroyant un label officiel, et avant toutes les autres manifestations ayant lieu actuellement autour de la COP22, les side events, la COP22 a donc reconnu l'ambition et l'enjeu d'Africa for Tech, qui est de créer une plateforme de talents et de projets numériques africains à impact global et positif. Un très grand merci également à nos sponsors et partenaires, Michelin, EDF, Orange, Société Générale, Engie, OCP et tous les autres, qui nous ont permis de rendre cette plateforme et cette communauté aujourd'hui tangibles. Alors, je vais inviter maintenant le ministre délégué de l'Industrie, du Commerce, de l'Investissement et de l'Économie numérique, Mamoune Bouhdoud, à me rejoindre sur scène pour partager sa vision de cette communauté depuis le Maroc. Mamoune est en poste depuis 3 ans. Il a mis en place au Maroc le statut d'auto-entrepreneur pour soutenir les petites entreprises et le développement de l'entrepreneuriat numérique. Il nous semblait donc évident que c'était la personne idéale pour inaugurer ce bootcamp ce soir. Auparavant en poste chez Morgan Stanley et Société Générale, il a assisté à la transformation du secteur financier et à sa numérisation. Mamoune, si vous voulez bien nous faire le plaisir de nous rejoindre.
Écoutez, merci beaucoup de m'avoir invité. Merci à tous. Alors, j'ai effectivement assisté à la numérisation du secteur financier. J'ai effectivement eu 3 très belles années depuis que je suis ministre et avec des gros challenges. Et l'une de mes fiertés a été le statut de l'auto-entrepreneur. C'est une réalisation qui est concrète, mais je dois avouer que l'une des populations avec lesquelles on a le plus vibré et avec lesquelles on a le plus travaillé et qu'on a eu beaucoup d'ambition, beaucoup de désir à faire avancer, c'était la communauté des startups et des auto-entrepreneurs et des entrepreneurs en général. Donc bravo à tous et merci d'avoir organisé ce forum. Pour la suite, I'll try to make it in English. My speech is in English. I wasn't supposed to speak in French, but I tried to do it in English because I think it's an important event for us. We are very happy to host it. And when I asked before coming into this place that a lot of people from different countries, from all around Africa, a lot of people from Francophone Africa, from Eastern Africa, from South, from North, from everywhere. We are very happy to host you. Welcome in Morocco. So to begin my speech, I would like to let you know that thank you for choosing us, for hosting these bootcamps, especially by using this strategic and important topic for us, which is how to connect Africa and its innovation to the world. Because for us, Morocco has been for many decades, we try to be at least one of the possible gateways to the African continent. We try to be this connection between Africa and Europe, of course, because of our geographical position, because of our free trade agreements, because of our historical link. But there is now a new important subject that is coming on the table, which is growing digitalization. And it's very important. We've done it successfully when it was a free trade issue. We have to do it when it's a digitalization problem today. So before developing more about this growing digitalization, I would like to give you some insight of where we see Africa today, but more important than that, where we see Africa in the future. And I think that's the most important because no one has any clear answer about that. And if you add to it the digitalization, you can rethink and reshape anything that was predicted 10 years ago. The first point is that, as all of you know, Africa is one of the most richest regions in the world. We have fantastic natural resources, we have fantastic land crops. It is above all an incredible and an economic power of social people that has to come. Africa has for the last, let's say, 10 years been the second fastest growing area in the world. Now everyone agrees that it's the next biggest area of growth, but it has been showing a very strong 4.5% between 2000 and 2010 average growth. We have more than 400 African companies that have more than $1 billion revenue a year. And one, I think, of the most important data is that we are the youngest region in the world. Our life expectancy is around 18. Europe is 44. We all know that it's an incredible potential, and it's an incredible potential also for internal consumption. We are also today expecting to be 2 billion by 2050, which means that 2 billion people will live in Africa. 2 billion people will need to eat in Africa. 2 billion people will need to wear, and 2 billion people will need to use new technologies. And if we talk about new technologies, only 55% of these Africans have a mobile phone today. But I think that it's only the beginning, because we've done a study, I think it was McKinsey that have done it, that there is, I know you're from McKinsey, South Africa, and they've done a fantastic report, I think in last September. There is, and one important number is that there is about 6,000 billion of US dollars opportunity by 2025 to take in Africa. The second point is that if you take this data and you put it in front of the fact that we are the youngest population in the world, there is another important momentum coming that will impact Africa. And this momentum will probably surprise you, but it's coming from China. We believe, and we've done when we went to the Ministry of Industry, we've put in place what we call the Industrial Acceleration Plan 2014-2023. And this Industrial Acceleration Plan, we tried to see clearly where were the countries that we want to be when they were in our position, where we are. If you take Malaysia, if you take South Korea in certain period, how they became so powerful, how they became a developed country. And now, if you take the continent, the African continent, I think that Africa is exactly what was China in the 90s. And it's very important because now we are talking about China, we are talking about China reshifting its models. It's no more the place of low-cost production. The World Bank is expecting more than 85 million jobs that will quit China to the rest of the world. I think it's a fantastic opportunity for Africa. For one simple reason, the minimum wage in China today is around $500 a month. It was 150 10 years ago, but we are seeing an inflation of 10 to 13% each year, which means that Africa is definitely competitive. On the digitalization, I think that there is a real revolution for the whole African continent. Digital has disrupted the way Africa is connected to the world. And doing that, it has definitely extended, I think, the boundaries of our social and economic possibilities. And I will try to go through a crucial question. You will probably do it in the next 2 days, but I think there is one important question that anytime you start an entrepreneurship adventure or you're asking yourself about your country on the innovation terms, you try to see what other countries are doing, what are the last innovation, and you ask to yourself only one question: how can you import it? How can you make your country take benefit of it? And this is important because you cannot take an innovation that has been done in the Silicon Valley and put it in place in Africa. You have to know the ground, you have to know your country, you have to know your people, and it's very important. And I think one of the key challenges that we will be facing is how can we adapt this innovation that is worldwide known to our future and to our continent. So we are to do this, you have to be perfectly aware of your weakness. And we need you. We need you as innovator, we need you as entrepreneurs to solve our weakness. I'd like to go through them and to try to discuss with you some of the problems that we are facing. First, in the economic field, digital has enabled Africa to target specific needs in a very pragmatic way. African success stories in this field are various, and if you take what we call the mobile payments, the e-commerce, the m-commerce also, it's fantastic what Kenya has done. And it's a perfect example of taking an innovation in a foreign country. We are still talking about mobile payments in the United States even. And Kenya is doing fantastic in a fantastic way. And I think one of the key innovation will be this, how to adapt what is new to our country. The second point is corruption. Corruption and lack of transparency. This is a weakness of our continent. It's a strong challenge that we have to face in the next year. And another key point where I believe that innovation is important. For one simple reason. If you take the 15 most transparent country in the world, there are also, within these 15, there is 13 countries that are the best ranking in the e-government system, which means their administration is almost fully digital. More than that, if you increase by 0.1 point your e-government, you will gain more than 20 places in the doing business, the famous ranking of the World Bank that is worldwide now, the famous doing business ranking. And believe me how difficult it is to gain places there. But by doing that, by investing in our e-government, we can do it. The other important foundation, and I think, is education. Almost 40% of our population is illiterate. And most of them are drops out from the elementary and secondary school. I think the e-learning is a strong solution to it. I really believe that it's a strong solution to it. It's an affordable solution. It can easily connect people to make them solve this problem and to make them learn even if they dropped from school. The third point is healthcare. And I think it's a strong foundation because if we are a population of an espérance de vie, life expectancy, c'est ça? I let the traducer expectancy. If we are a population of life expectancy of espérance de vie, you know it, of 18 years old, unfortunately, African people are dying at an average of 57 years old. And that's a problem, because in Europe they are dying at 81. And it's still because of more of illness that are known, malaria, tuberculosis, AIDS, to name just a few of them. I think this solution and the innovation can probably find a strong solution to it. The last point, and I think you chose Marrakesh also for that, is environment. It's not because we have to follow some path of developed country that we have not to take into account the environment issues. It's very important, especially that we'll be the challenge of the next century. So I strongly believe that Africa is now on its way to lead the global innovation trends, not only actually because we used to say that necessity is the mother of innovation, but I think we are very powerful because when you have to solve this kind of weakness, you have to find the best ways to make a lot of innovation. And if you translate it to business, it means that you need to make more money with less money. And this is a challenge that African people, African country knows how to do, and it's something that we can show to the world. And it's even more important for the big companies that are targeting our countries. So ladies and gentlemen, my last part will be about Morocco. Because it's great to say that you're doing things, that you're thinking about things, that you have vision, but you cannot be credible if you don't put it on the ground, if you don't try to do it as a political responsible on the ground. And under the vision of His Majesty the King Mohammed VI, we've been doing two steps approaches. The first one is that we tried to strengthen our historical link with Africa. And it is concrete, because if you take the Moroccan companies, Morocco is considered to be the second African country to invest in Africa. We are investing now more than $1 billion a year. It's strong, it's powerful, because it's deeply linking our economy to the rest of the continent. The second point is that we successfully launched an ambitious but realistic entrepreneurship strategy. We launched it actually in 2014, where Marrakesh was hosting a big moment also. It was the Global Entrepreneurship Summit. And we decided to put it and to try to support and to put in place a pretty strong entrepreneurship ecosystem. It's still growing. The first results are great. We are starting to see some startups. I met some of them before speaking now, but we have to improve it. And we put this behind this success some 5 key factors that I would like to share with you. The first one is a strong vision and a political ambition. I'm sharing it with you because I think that if you're doing it in a country level, you can do it in a continent level. And it's more powerful if it's done in a continent level. So what we believe, and we can still discuss is, what are the 5 key factors, is first a strong vision. You need to know exactly where you're going, and the political ambition. The second key factor is a great involvement and coordination between public and private sector. The third one is the legal framework. Because digital world is moving and shifting very fast, the legal framework has to face this challenge. If you want to pass a law, you have to be flexible enough to adapt it to the changes of the digital economy. The fourth key factor is development of financial tools and measures. And the last point is that the administration has to make the life simpler to the entrepreneurs. And that's very important. And as a consequences of this, one of our great achievements as a public responsible, and I think I'm very proud of it, is what you call the auto-entrepreneur and the self-employed. For one simple reason, because if you want, especially in Africa, to let your people be entrepreneur, to libérer leur potentiel, we say in France, liberate their potential, you have to give them the flexibility and to use this technology to make their life simple, to make the way they create their company very simple. And an entrepreneur starts by creating a company and being his self-employed. And this is very important because with all what's going on around the world, we strongly believe that the disruptive economy will change the active population. The way people are working will be different in the future. And if we are thinking about this solution in Africa, we have to think about what it is in the future, not what it is now. If you take the United States, 80% of the companies created are self-employed companies. I think it's 50% in France. We have to give the opportunity to the African to do it. And today it's a strong success. We started it about beginning of this year, January. We have more than 36,000 people registered now, which is far beyond our initial objective of 20,000 a year. It's important because it's using the legal framework, so we are giving them their right, we are protecting them their right. We try to make sure that they have a strong position in the entrepreneurship ecosystem, but on the other side, we use the digitalization to facilitate their life, especially when they are facing the administration. So these are the few ideas that I wanted to share with you tonight. I honestly, I'm very happy to be with you. I would love to stay with you 2 more days. Unfortunately, I have to go to the office tomorrow morning and in Rabat. And to conclude, I wish you a very successful bootcamp. Thank you very much.